Hi again. Welcome to Start Studies course. Susmita here and electronics to part 12 where I put resistances in parallel as I promised for class 11 it is. Now I will advise you to subscribe my channel because it is only going to be for subscribers only. That's why it is good to subscribe so that you are not left out of any video that I'm going to upload. So that's why let's get started. Now today I am going to do resistances or resistors in parallel, right? And I already spoke about series combination and why exactly we are combining the resistors in series or parallel combination. What is the need of combination? I already discussed it. Now if you are somehow unable to understand, you please refer to my previous videos or go to the playlist in resistances. There you will find all the videos one by one so that you will be clarified, but for that you need to be subscribed to my channel. So let's get started here. Resistances in parallel is what is first of all I will draw a diagram which would be, it should be in front of you so that you must be able to draw it also. So that's why I will draw it. First one resistor. I said you when it is about resistors in parallel, it is always column wise. Okay, so when it is column wise, so first of all you have to do the resistances like this. Then you have to join end to end. This got somehow little bit odd, but you can even it out. Different, this one can be joined here so that it would be more beautiful. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll erase just this part so it would be really nice to see. Yeah, you can see now this is even out and looking looking good together. Now I can put another resistor over here to just make it number 3, because I want to clarify that it is not always 2 resistors combined in parallel. It can be 3, 4 or n number of times. So that's why I am specifically drawing 3 resistors in odd number. Now this is named as R1, R2, R3. They are connected to a circuit having a battery as usual, positive to negative. Okay, you can have a switch if you want to. It may not be necessary for me, that's why I'm omitting this part. And if you want to have an ammeter, please connect in series as I always said. And if you want to measure the voltage anywhere, you must do it in a parallel one like this, column wise. Okay, so after that understood, the picture is very important. It may be you may get a printed picture of these things, but it is always advisable to do it in a proper way with your hands so that you must understand how this construction is going on in the paper so that you can also do it while in lab also. So that is very important for me as well as all of you. Then we will show the current. Now as we said, the current always travel from positive to negative. That's why the travel direction will be like this. And now here at point A, what is happening? The current is getting divided into 3 parts. Okay, again at point B, what can you see? The current is again getting united at point B. Okay, and then it is moving forward with the same current. Whatever it is dividing into, it is again combining it to the same current and it is coming again to the negative end. So from here we can evaluate what are the basic properties of V, the standard parameters V, I, R, and how to evaluate them. Now as the resistors are in parallel, the formula is the reciprocal of, I must write it so that it will be helpful for you to remember also, and I am hoping that whenever you are studying with me, you are also writing down the important keywords so that you must not miss on anything. The reciprocal of combined resistance or equivalent resistance, whatever you are convenient with, you can use. I am convenient with both the terms, so I am using them so often so that you can also be confident and convenient for you. The reciprocal means 1 by, okay. So the reciprocal of combined resistance 1 by R, it would be sum of reciprocal of individual resistances. What does that exactly mean? As we have 3 different resistors, it may be equal, may be different. So I will write 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Okay. Now what we are doing here, the resistance, when the resistances are connected in parallel, we basically are trying to reduce the total resistance. I will tell you why. Now, when we know that actually the resistance is proportional to the length. Okay. Now, when we are adding, when we were adding in series, what we are doing? We are exactly increasing the resistance. Now, as the length increases, the resistance also increases, right? But in parallel, as we are doing it in column wise, you can see we have the same length, but we are simply putting different resistors in different way in column wise, so that the total resistance it is reduced because there is no increase in length. Okay, so that's I'm going to prove you after some time, but before that you must understand why there is a necessity of resistors for combining in parallel way to reduce the total resistances. And always remember, the total resistance we get, it is always remember, it is always less than the individuals. Okay, it is always less than the individual resistors. Whatever resistance you will get in parallel, the total resistance, that would be always less than the individual resistances of the resistor. After that, I am going to calculate how to evaluate VI and the relation between them. I need to prove this one. Okay, this is like a theorem. I need to prove it. So let's get going with it. Now, as we have a circuit here, and the resistors are combined in parallel, so you can see the same current is being divided into different parts, right? That's why I have drawn the pictures. This is one. They are joined in the same point A, but their starting and ending point are the same as A and B, but when the current starts flowing through the resistors, it got divided into 3 parts. We can imagine that. So if I got divided into 3 different parts, can we expect them to be all same as I? No, they got divided. So if it is R1, R2 and R3, then through the resistors R1, R2, R3 combined in parallel, it would be I1, I2 and I3. Okay, so the same the current is divided into different parts. Okay, different paths. This is one point to consider while in parallel combination. First one. Second consideration which I must have is that the potential difference is same. Why so? Because when we are evaluating in parallel path, whenever we are trying to evaluate the potential difference, I will join a voltmeter here, right? I will join a voltmeter here. But the voltmeter will always be joined in parallel and it will show the net resistances of all these three. That's why the potential difference will always remain the same. So if the I is only varying, it should be due to Kirchhoff's current law, the total charge should be conserved. That's why I1 plus I2 plus I3 should be equal to I, isn't it? This is the first equation. Now we have obviously the Ohm's law, which states that V equals to IR, right? So V equals to IR is the second equation of it. Now we need to evaluate what would be I if V and R are known. Because we need to know in terms of I1, I2 and I3. That's why I am doing this equation as 3. Okay. Or I can do another way. I will simply write this. I will omit this equation. Ohm's law equation, the general one, and I will write it as equation 2 only. So we have two equation in hand. Let's evaluate what is I1 then. I1 would be V, as the potential difference is same across the three resistors, V by R1. Third equation. I2 would be V by R2. Fourth equation. I3 would be V by R3, fifth equation. Okay. Now we have got all the equations in hand, and we can compare 2, 3, 4, 5, putting in all the values in equation 1 and see what happens next. So when I put the equation in, I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So in place of I will put BR, right? In place of I1, I will put BR1, isn't it? Yeah, I am going wrong here. It would be V by R and V by R1, right? So it is V by R equals to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3 as we derived, right? Now, taking common the V factor which remains same, I can just cut out. Okay, so it would be 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Okay, now we see this is the equation and we proved it. This is the equation number 6. So reciprocal of the total resistance would be equal to the sum of the reciprocals of individual resistors. I can write it in other way also. Let's see what happens if there are n number of resistors having same resistances as R. Then what would be the equation? The equation would be 1 by R equals to n by R, isn't it? This would be equation for n number of resistors having only equal resistances. If the resistances will be different, the formula will be different. That's why this is the more generalized formula for resistors combined in parallel combination. I want to just I need to solve it so that it will be helpful for you. Now this is a very special case where we have a number of resistors having same resistances which is equal to R. So the net equivalent reciprocal of equivalent resistances, or I can say R dash, I denote R dash as the equivalent resistance. Okay. Now if that is so, what would be R dash? R dash would be simply by crisscrossing, it would be R by N. Okay. So by this formula, if I go by this formula, let's have some resistances which is equal to 5 ohm each. Now there are 10 5 ohm resistances combined in parallel combination. So what would be the equivalent resistances? It would be easy 5 divided by 10, which is 5 by 10 is 0.5 ohm. Now you can easily see, this is for your reference, you can easily see the net equivalent resistance is pretty much less than the individual resistance, which was 5 ohm. Yes, so we got it, we proved it that in parallel resistances the net resistances get reduced, okay, because we are taking the reciprocal of it, that's why. So this is another formula for you. I need to solve, before closing this video, I need to solve one question for you so that you will feel comfortable while doing so in your workbook. The questions would be will be varying from easy to difficult. It will first ask you to draw a diagram like this. So it will ask you to draw 3 ohm, 5 ohm, 3 ohm in parallel. Then it would tell the EMF or potential difference, the battery V, how much it is, let it be 6 volt for now. And it would ask find I1 in the first resistor, or find I2, or find I in general also. It would be simple. And if it is asking for I1 or individual current in each resistor, so it would be more the medium difficulty which you will call. So how we will draw it? Now first of all you will put them in parallel. One is 3 ohm, right? Then another is 5 ohm. See, I am not also so good in drawing these pictures, but anyway I am trying, so you must try also. That's why I am doing it live, so that you must not feel it has to be perfect. No, it has to be conceptually clear. That would help you. So these are joined by a 6 volt battery like this, plus minus. So current will be like this. Current can be the other way if the voltage is the smaller bar of it will be shifted to this way, okay. So this is 3 ohm, this is 5 ohm, this is 3 ohm. Now you need to calculate what is I1. What is I1? I1 in 3 ohm. So first of all, what do you need to calculate? You got what is V, the net voltage across the circuit, and voltage remains same in parallel circuit, we know that. And I, the net current is given as 1 ampere. So you must write that down. So what would be the total resistances? For total resistances, if the I is not given also, okay, that's what I want to say you. If I is not given, okay, you may be clueless at first glance, okay, how I am supposed to do I1 when I is not known. So first of all, the equivalent resistances would be as I said earlier, 1 by R dash equals to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 3, right? Then we will take the LCM as 15, and it would be 5 plus 3 plus 5, right? So it would be around 13 by 15 for 1 by R. So what would be R dash? R dash would be 15 by 13. You just need to flip it. So it is 15 by 13 means 1 point. It would be 1.1. Suppose it is like 6. 1.16.